On this Michigan speedway, with cars racing up to 200 miles per hour, Brehanna Daniels has eyes for just one of them. Her mind is clear. Her only focus, swapping out this race car's rear tires. And while Brehanna is one of the best in the business, with enough skills to replace two 70-pound tires in roughly 15 seconds, this hasn't always been the dream.
What would an 18, 17-year-old college student, Brehanna Daniels, think of you right now?
Girl, you are crazy, especially a little black girl like myself at that time, definitely was like, I'm never getting into NASCAR. It wasn't even a thought in my mind.
Now, not only is Brehanna in NASCAR, she's making history, becoming the organization's first black female pit crew member in 2017.
I just want people to know that women can do what the men do. I just wish that we could be treated equally, and I'm working to change that.
NASCAR has always contended with a lack of gender and racial diversity within its ranks. It wasn't until 2012, 64 years after NASCAR began, that it signed on its first female pit crew member, Christmas Abbott. Since then, only 15 pit crew members have been women. Just 3 have been women of color. Even NASCAR's fan base is overwhelmingly white, with black fans making up only 9% of the demographic.
NASCAR hasn't had very much success with the African-American community at large is because of NASCAR's association with the Confederate flag. You see that symbol and you know that it evokes these feelings of hatred and racial denigration.
But in the last year, amid this country's racial reckoning, even NASCAR is looking to evolve, banning the Confederate flag, adding stars like Michael Jordan and rapper Pitbull to its team owner roster, and paving the way for the sport to look a little more like the country it represents.
Diversity in NASCAR has been a big initiative for the sport for a long time, and obviously it's taken a while to get to where we are today, and we still have a lot of room to go.
I just feel like everything I've been through in life brought me to this very moment.
In April 2016, Brehanna, then a D1 basketball star at Norfolk State University, received a life-changing opportunity to audition for a coveted spot on a NASCAR pit crew team.
Those guys put us to the test. Even though we didn't have that much time to learn everything, they wanted to see who can take that little information in, and who can make the best of it.
It was a grueling process, made even more difficult by the obvious stigma that came with being a woman trying out for a role typically held by men.
One of the guys who was also trying out to be a tire carrier, he came up to me and told me, he was like, Bree, he said, they say none of the women ever make it in NASCAR. It really made me upset. I was like, I don't care what they say. I'm gonna work as hard as I can to prove what they said wrong.
For Brehanna, there's no fuel like low expectations. After her tryout, she made the team.
What are similarities, you'd say, between playing basketball and doing this?
You have to have that quick hand speed, the quick finesse, and the same thing, transition over to being a tire changer. You have to be low, to the car, quick, poised, calm.
Do you think you're inspiring the next generation?
Oh, definitely. I get pictures from parents, with their sons, their daughters, no matter what race. And they have their daughter or son, sitting in front of a tire. Say, look at my son trying to be like you. And then, for Halloween one year, this little black girl had she had a bandana on, and she had a little race fire suit. Seeing stuff like that, makes me tear up. I'm like, I'm really doing it,
Ready to go?
Ready to roll.
All dressed up.
One of Brehanna's biggest backers on her road to stardom has been Dion Williams.
You call Brehanna your own little Beyonce. She's very special to you.
I see a lot of her in myself, not to mention she is one of the best females that I've seen change tires, so she can hold 2 tires just like I can over the wall, and she's half my size, so respect is due on her end.
Congratulations.
The retired Wake Forest football player helps recruit former college athletes for NASCAR's Drive for Diversity program.
Introduce our latest class.
A training initiative aimed at getting women and people of color in race cars and on pit crews. Brehanna is one of its top graduates.
Over 95% of all diverse pit crew over the wall came from our program. Over 60 individuals in the sport now currently.
Dion pulls in these athletes by explaining how lucrative these roles can be, Pit crew members can make upwards of $150,000 a year.
What about the critics who talk about, why are we talking about race? It should just be about the sport.
How will the sport grow or change if we don't invite other demographics, or if we don't have all demographics watching the race? Brehanna and myself are in this sport now due to the efforts that were necessary to put us in this position. Because if those efforts were never necessary or put in position, I would still go on ignoring NASCAR and would not be the 16-year veteran sitting in front of you today.
What have been the challenges NASCAR has faced as it's trying to diversify?
I would say that it's a combination of things. On the athlete side, lack of access to opportunities. On the fan side, the perception that it was not a welcoming industry. And then it's a vicious cycle.
Max Siegel manages NASCAR's Drive for Diversity program and is the highest ranking Black executive in the organization.
There is an industry effort to bring everybody together on common goals. But again, I want to be clear. I'd love to see progress happen a lot quicker than it has, but living it every day, it just doesn't happen overnight.
Bubba Wallace, NASCAR's only full-time Black driver, is also a product of NASCAR's diversity push, graduating from the Drive for Diversity program in 2010.
When I started racing in 2002, there wasn't much diversity there. As far as the driving side, there was just me. But it definitely has changed a lot. There's definitely a lot more diversity down on pit road, over the wall and behind the wall, and it's pretty cool to see.
As America last year confronted its history and legacy of racism, Wallace was front and center at NASCAR, speaking out in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, emblazoning his race car with its hashtag. His voice was instrumental in NASCAR's banning of the Confederate battle flag at its events and properties. But Wallace knows that small step doesn't mean fans of color will come flocking in.
I'm not the naive one to be flags gone. Doors are wide open. I know it's not that easy. The ideology could still be there of some spectators, and that's unfortunate.
For Brehanna, it's important to her to make sure the progress NASCAR has already made doesn't slow down.
We need some women as crew chiefs, some, Black women, more color, in the garages, like I said, more in the stands.
What do you say to those young people who want to be like you?
Be better than me. If you really have a dream, you have a goal, make that happen. You have to make that dream a reality.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.